possible adjustments that we might see in January or from the Senior Bowl this year?
Yeah, I think again, haven't had an official call with the guys of the league office yet. They're really they've got a big job on their hands trying to get their season launched, and I understand that. So, but really, we have to have that call first and see what the draft calendar is going to look like. I just wanted to let those guys, at the league level, know that we're willing to do what we need to do to help them. Again, that a big function of what we do. This game is for those guys. I mean, that's why we put on this game, is to help them. I feel like we work, for the 32 teams, and that's why we include them, in the bottom end of the roster construction as well. Like, these rosters aren't for us. We want to bring the players they want to see. So, so we'll adjust. If they move the draft calendar back, like say they move it all the way back to that June 2nd date, that's allowed in the CBA, that basically would buy everyone. If we push back a month and the combine push back a month, that would buy us all a little time. I think there's optimism out there. There's hope that there's a vaccine by later in the fall. And if we push back, 4 or 5 weeks, maybe that gives more time for widespread distribution of a vaccine. Who knows? But I just, we're willing to do that. Obviously, I think we could extend our game. I think we could make it a 2-week event. I do think just talking to agents, we're talking to those guys on a daily basis. The phones, I'm looking at my phone right now. It's been crazy the last week. I mean, it seems like Senior Bowl time with agents calling. They're trying to get a feel for what this thing's going to look like as well. So again, I'm trying to be mindful of, we try to serve those guys, we try to serve the players, we try to serve the teams. And if I'm a guy that's a Big Ten player, a Pac-12 player, and, theoretically I haven't put pads on in 12 months, like I'm sensitive to that. I get it. Like, they want to come down here and put their best foot forward. So if we extended to 2 weeks, we could have some sort of acclimation period for those guys, so maybe there's the first 3 or 4 days are conditioning days and they're just doing drill work, a lot similar to like combine stuff. A lot of the combine position drills that you see in Indy, maybe we'll do some of that the first 3 or 4 days, just get their bodies used to doing football stuff. And then go uppers for a couple of days. Maybe we usually do 1 day in uppers. Maybe we do 3 days in uppers and then 4 days in pads. So that way, so they can get acclimated, they can shake off rust. And then it gives the teams, another week of evaluation. And and extending out the week, I think one of the challenges for the NFL is they're not on campus right now. They're not going to be able to, in most cases, it doesn't sound like they're going to be able to go to games in the fall. So the schools have been great with us. They've allowed us to be on all these Zoom calls with the 32 teams. And, I have been surprised. Some schools have been pretty forthcoming on those. Others, it's pretty vanilla. So I think from just an information gathering standpoint, the 32 clubs are going to be way far behind in terms of where they're usually at coming into the pre-draft process. So they're going to have a lot of answers that they need, questions they need to have answered. So I think another week in it, with and around these players will help them get familiar with them. And again, I just was on the phone with one of the opt-out guys the other day that has a chance to play in our game. And I said to him, I said, these GMs are human beings, like they want to be familiar with guys they draft. And so, if you came here and you spent 2 weeks around these guys, that's a huge benefit, especially in a weird year like this. I mean, that's one of the reasons I took this job. I'm a big believer in the value of the Senior Bowl. The combine serves its function, but man, this is football. And this is what I think smart teams, really rely on this week, because it is football. But I do think even more than in a normal year, our game takes on more importance because of that, that these guys are so far behind in getting to know these guys. You know this, Jordan. I think the easier part is watching the tape and evaluating the tape. The harder part is getting to know the person. So if we extend it out another week, I think it would benefit all parties involved.